Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scorpio weekly tarot bite reading for the week of July 17th through the 23rd. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Lauren. To everyone who is returning, thank you so much for your continued support of this channel. I hope you do get something meaningful out of this reading. And for those of you who are new, I hope you also get something meaningful out of this reading, and thank you for watching. So this is going to be a quick look at the energy for the week ahead for the sign of Scorpio. About 10 minutes or so in length this reading will be. So we're going to jump right in and take a look at the two themes that actually came out in the general collective reading for the week, which was posted on Sunday. And we're going to dive into what that means for you specifically, Scorpio. So we have Poised and the King of Pentacles. Now, really how this came out was that we are taking this week as a breather to really review the past major cycle in our life that is closing out, that we mastered something in the physical plane of existence with the King of Pentacles coming in. So we're looking at what that is. Did we become a master prioritizer of our energy? Did we become a master of our finances? Did we become a master of being able to assert our own value, let's say in the workplace? But with Poised, there's also the sense of coming out of this week, we are jumping into something new. And what is that? Then the new is where we're going to have our eye on that star, like you see with the fairy here. And she's going to be bringing that star into her physical experience as we start this new cycle. So what does that mean? The star represents our kind of guiding truth, that dream, that our North Star, what we feel that we're traveling towards and what we would like to, again, experience, bring into our physical plane of existence. So we're going to take a look here, Scorpio. We're going to pull some clarifiers for each of these cards to see really what they mean for you this week. So let's see, what does Scorpio need to know about Poised? What are you getting ready to jump into here? So we have the Two of Coins. So Two of Coins is a card. Okay, interesting. You have the Two of Coins and Two of Wands. It's a decision-making week here, Scorpio. Two of Coins, Two of Wands. Two of Coins is one where we're just kind of juggling. We're doing the day-to-day. You're juggling your tasks in the physical. Now, when I say that there are decisions to be made, usually the twos in tarot speak to possibly having to make a decision, meaning if you're juggling two things, you generally have to then figure out how to prioritize one over the other, because we can't do really two tasks in the same moment. So there is something here about possibly having to focus on something in the physical versus the other, maybe bringing something more in or focusing more in one aspect of your experience versus another. Then with the Two of Wands, this speaks to it asks you kind of, where do you want to go from here? There is a change in direction with the Two of Wands. It means that you have two wands, and it's almost like being at the fork in the road, and you can choose one or the other. Now, they both speak to taking action, and they both speak to something that you're passionate about. But it can actually represent also being able to see a bigger picture for yourself, because you can see here in this image that the individual is holding almost like a little globe. And in the original Rider-Waite tarot, you will see the individual kind of holding the world in the palm of his hand as he's looking out over the ocean. And so there's something here around really being able to, I think for some of you, there's a chance to see a bigger picture for yourself this week as you're reviewing the last cycle for yourself, as you're looking at what you've mastered, as you're looking at how far you've come and what you've learned about yourself. There is something here around possibly a change in direction, or making a choice to take action in some way that is going to kind of lead you down a new path. And I don't mean that it's going to lead you away from your path. So for me personally, my personal perspective is that we are always on our path. We just choose sometimes to stop on our path because we're not ready to face the challenge that is sitting on that path, that we are going to then kind of unlock something about ourselves as we meet that challenge. But what I mean here is that there is a chance now to do something differently, meaning that there might be, with the Two of Coins, maybe there is something that you maybe used to kind of just put into the mix, and now you're realizing this is something I really want to focus on growing. So this could be like having a side hobby, and now you're realizing, you know what, I want that to be more than a side hobby, but in order for me to do that, I have to start choosing that. I have to start to choose that, to grow it into something bigger, because I see the bigger picture of that for myself. So it means that I might have to start maybe taking time from other places in my life to start to prioritize that, instead of, this could even be like, I want to get into shape and I want to be in my best physical body. And in order for me to do that, I have to start carving out time to prioritize that. I have to carve out time to do workouts. I have to carve out time to maybe research nutrition. I have to, and then this would be choosing that, to make that as to go in a new direction. Maybe before this point, you never paid attention to your own physical health or well-being. And now you're making that as your kind of new goal, because you see the bigger picture of again, when we don't really have wealth unless we have our health. There's something like that. Now, that might be just something coming through for one or two of you. It's strange that example became very prominent, but this could be in any aspect of your life, and some aspect where now you realize there's something that you really want to grow. And possibly it could be based on the fact of, again, looking at what you have mastered and realizing, wow, I have a new talent, or I have something that, when you think of the King of Pentacles, he really is the individual. He holds that pentacle, right? And he knows its value and he knows what it's worth. And so maybe for some of you, there's kind of bringing that into this next cycle of, I see the value of this over that more, and I'm going to start to prioritize that more in my life. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this King of Pentacles. Okay, so we have the Fool and the Six of Swords. Interesting. So yeah, there is a jump into something new here with the Fool and the Six of Swords. Now, the Six of Swords does speak to moving on. For some of you, this could actually be moving, physically moving to a new location. With the Fool and the Six of Swords, but this could also be where you are literally leaving the past behind. The Six of Swords can speak to me on its kind of larger meaning, broader meaning. It can mean literally transcending long embedded limitations in our psyche that we thought we would never get beyond. This would be like saying, I will never make $1 million. Because no one in your life experience has ever made that kind of money. And so you've told yourself, yeah, making $80K a year is great, and this is like all I'm capable of. And then suddenly you realize, well, actually, I'm now making $250K a year, and I never thought I'd make more than 80. So what's stopping me? Maybe now maybe part of this last cycle, you got a secondary degree, and now you can go out into the world and, get a higher paying position than before. And maybe you never thought you would get that degree. There's something along these lines where it's kind of that kind of realization of like, wait a second, why was I capping myself off at this? Or this would be like saying like, because I've never seen what a healthy relationship is. Maybe you had parents that grew up, maybe you grew up in a broken home and you never saw what a healthy relationship was. You're like, well, most relationships are going to, not work out anyways. I just hope that I can find someone, who doesn't drive me crazy. Instead of saying, I know I can find the love of my life and the partner that's going to, make my whole life open up. It's like one of these kind of realizations of like, why did I play it small for so long? There's a sense coming through here with the Six of Swords and the Fool. And there is a sense of really transcending through that kind of realization on the mental plane of like, I can break through this barrier. It's almost like someone who's maybe only like, this is kind of the feeling I always get when that card comes in. It's like the person who grew up in a small town somewhere. They never traveled. They never went anywhere. And they never thought that they were ever going to leave their hometown. And they had no idea how. It was one of those things where like, I don't make enough money. Like, how can I leave this experience? The rest of the world is too much out there. And then it's all of a sudden, it's like one day they wake up and realize, it's as easy as buying a, $12 bus ticket to any town. Like, why didn't I can take a day trip. I don't have to move there. I could just do it. Like, why have I told myself I could never leave the confines of my city. There's something here coming through that's very fundamental that you've like broken through in this last cycle for yourself, where you told yourself that you were never going to get past this point, or you could never have seen yourself going past some limitation in your life, whether it is, again, financial, whether it is physical, whether it is, emotional, that there's something here where it's like, ding, 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 I can leave. I can get in this boat. I don't want to stay on this island anymore. I can get out there. And therein is the leap into the new. These people who are, looks like they're kind of going down this boat launch, they don't know what they're going, they see this little island like way off in the distance there. They don't know who's living there. This could be where they just see it and finally are like, why don't we just go and take a look? And I think for many of you, this is going to be a really wonderful cycle about really changing what you prioritize in your life experience. And with the Two of Wands, it speaks to changing something where I think you're starting to prioritize what lights your fire, what really speaks to your passion. Which is great. This is a very positive reading, Scorpio. I think this is a week where you get to really break through and again, transcend. And when we transcend mentally, when we get past that kind of block in our psyche, then we're able to see that manifested in the physical for us. Because then all of a sudden we open our eyes up to, as I buy that bus ticket to go to one town over, we now get to see all of the other things we would never have experienced before because we wouldn't have been put in that position. It's like one of those things where, yeah, I can move to any town. I can make that move for that job. I can make that move for that person. And it's like, why not? So there's something about that. But I think for many of you with the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck, there's also something really coming through about breaking through your own belief systems. I think for many of you, this last cycle has really showed you maybe where you were adopting the belief system or following rules that were limiting you and that might have been placed upon you from other people. And now it's like you get a chance to really look in that box like you see in this picture and say, well, what do you believe is in that box? What do you believe that life is all about? Like, what are the rules you want to follow? What are the what are the systems you want to put in place? Like, what really honors you? And what do you believe about yourself? And how has that belief, how has the change in your limits and the expansion of those limits now changed what you believe you're capable of experiencing or achieving? All right, I'll leave it there. Scorpio, great reading. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website and see a list of my services. July's full tarot scope for each sign is up on my channel if you'd like to watch yours. Otherwise, August tarot scopes will start to be posted on my channel starting the end of next week. All right, everyone. Again, I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you for next week's Tarot Bite reading. Bye, Scorpio.